What's up? Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 63. Joining me tonight is a friend of mine, a supporter of the Stat Guy Show, Mr. Jim Howe. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How's Stat doing tonight?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Hey, so this is a first for me, and I think a first for you too. I know you live stream on your nights of the week with the Slammers podcast you do. This is the first time we're actually streaming live together on all of our platforms. So it's pretty cool. So I'm live on my stuff. You're live on your stuff. This is the first, and we'll see how it goes.
Monumental, and we've got some big stuff that we're going to do in the future with our podcast. But you know, the race car seems to take precedent right now. So that's what we've got a media room here at the shop, and we had big plans of having it all really tricked out and cool. And so far, it is less than tricked out and definitely not cool, but it is a room.
Hey, that's a start.
Right, we'll get it figured out eventually. But the cars and the race program is far more important. So just happy to be on here.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming on as always. So before we get into the cool stuff, all the stuff you got going on, which you have a lot of stuff going on currently, like you just said. The last time I had you on was during the break of last season. So I believe it was in July. You're off at that time. So there was a lot of stuff that happened since then. So I kind of want to touch base a little bit on the 2023 No Prep King season. In particular, I want to talk about you going to the finals in Pennsylvania against Ryan. That was the first race you went to the finals at. And was that kind of the turning point in your season where you were like, hey, because we know you had your crash, you had to get the car redone. Was that kind of the turning point and say, hey, I got my car finally to where I want it to be?
Well, I thought it was. And, we had some kinks to work out. We built a brand new car in just a few weeks. And, we thought we had it right, and then we didn't. And then we got it right. And it's just we couldn't get away from the little dumb problems, all year long. And, Ryan and I had talked that week. And we both had been on the struggle bus. And so we had talked that week, and I told Ryan, I said, man, let's put these damn things in the final this week. And sure enough, we did, and I was happier, just to get past all the struggles. At least I thought. And, then we went out and shitted it up the rest of the year, making mistakes here and there. And it wasn't like, okay, let me rephrase that, because we didn't merely make mistakes. My crew did a great job. We had a lot of issues, little parts failure, stuff that, I've never broke before, but we learned a lot from it. And, I'd like to sit here today and tell you that we're 100% healthy and everything is great. But it seems like I did that in the winter of last year, and then I came out and got my head stomped on. So I'm just going to tell everybody that we are working harder than we've ever worked. And,
there you go.
I believe that we have put the work in, and we've kind of, we've kind of changed out so much stuff to, hopefully alleviate that issue. But a lot of little dumb problems, we're having to run the cars really, really hard. And Chris Michael is in the chat. That's my favorite. He is my favorite. I hope he's drinking tonight.
It's a probability.
Yeah. But anyhow, we just had a bunch of little issues that really caused just one thing after another. And Justin and I talked yesterday, Swanstrom and I did, and he had a weekend, kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
When he told me what all happened, it was real easy for me to Monday morning quarterback for him. And I was like, oh yeah, well, when that first thing happened, you should have done this, and then you should have done this.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened. And, sadly, these are the lessons that we have to learn. And we seem to all learn them the hard way. But, right now we have an instruction booklet, so to speak, that we're going to push. And, we're going to try to alleviate some of that stuff, so maybe we don't have those problems going forward. And hopefully we won't have any new problems, because I'd really like to just go and race and say, hey, man, I just got my butt kicked, or hey, we had a good race car. You know what I'm saying? Instead of hey,
Yep.
like we broke this, or hey, we broke that, or hey, we had an oil line fail.
Right.
It'll be a good problem to have. I'm looking forward to the season. I really am. We've tested really well, but like I said before, you know, we are world champion test and tuners. We can show up and run a track, and I'll put career numbers down, and we think we're on top of the world. And then we show up on race day, and everything goes to hell in a handbasket. So,
Yeah.
that's all you can do.
I'm sure you'll figure it out, Jim. To string together, like sometimes people will string together like 5, 6, 7 races in a row where they do really, really well. It takes a lot of luck in that, because you know it's just as easily you could have stuff go wrong 5, 6 races in a row. You know what I mean? And then you're outside the points, and it's rough. So I know you'll figure it out, Jim. You always do. This season you ended up finishing 14th in points, which after a season 5 you finished 6th. So knowing how competitive you are, was that a hard pill to swallow, your final results of the season?
Man, honestly, every week was a hard pill to swallow, and it got so bad that I didn't even care how we finished in the points. I just wanted to do the best that we could do. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to go out and not tear anything up. Just go out and like, honestly, we've said this in the pits, like I just want to go out there and get beat. Like if I just get beat and we don't get, you know, we don't have a catastrophic failure, and it was done. It's always something stupid, you know what I mean? But whatever, it's all, you know, like we broke an oil pan. I mean, who breaks an oil pan? It's never, like 35 years of me racing, I've never broken an oil pan. We broke an oil pan in Steele, Alabama. We had points boxes. I had MSD engineers at the track with me in Vegas who were everyone scratching their head, you know, and we just went through all that stuff. And, you know, I think it made us a stronger team. We had some issues with the car and some handling issues, and that's when I brought Scotty Cannon in. And, you know, Scotty is a mentor of mine, been a great friend for years. And I just called him and I said, man, I need you to come out here and like, I'll step away. You just do every damn thing, because apparently I'm missing it. You know, he came out and he was like, man, you're not doing anything wrong. He said, everything's great. And of course, we tested really good.
Yeah.
And then we had a car that had made up its own mind. It was just going to decide to drive left, and tried to run over Chuck 55. But you know,
yeah.
Whatever. It's part of it.
I know you talked about, it seemed like you tried to do what you could do, try to figure things out. Was there any point of the season, looking back, where you're like, if I would have done this differently, for sure, it might have had a different outcome? And
I mean, really, no, because the stuff we were tearing up wasn't something that I would, you know, wasn't something that I would even know. Even when we fixed the points box issue, we still don't know how we fixed it.
Okay.
Right. I mean, like, we no longer burn up points boxes, but MSD, myself, Pro One Ignition, none of us know what it is. We have a feeling that it was this thing called a FET module, and it's inside the points boxes. And that's what I originally, like, I tore one apart. I took a damn points box and took it apart. I wanted to see what we were burning up in them. And I came back to a FET module, and I didn't even know what a FET module was. But once I seen what was burning up in the damn board, you know, I started researching it, and then I realized that, okay, well, this is the weak link here. And then come to find out, during COVID, they had lost their supplier that was making their FET modules, went out of business, and they had to switch to a different company, and then they were getting an inferior FET module. So, you know, I think we have it. I think we have it fixed. I can tell you that there's a couple things that we know that we can make it harder on the points box. We can put a bigger load on the points box. And I've had to back away from doing that, which is also some performance that we left on the table that I was using before. And now I mean, the points boxes are like $1,500 a piece, and like I was burning one up a run. So that now we've kind of got away from we've kind of got away from doing a few of those things because like I don't want to tear them up anymore. So whatever it is now, we just like try to find it in other places. So
Well, it sounds
so
like
I don't know what I'd do different. I guess, show up and beat my head against the wall again.
well, it sounds like you won't have to worry about the points box, anything happening to it while you're testing. You're testing, you'll do fine.
Yeah. We've never burnt one up testing. We only burn them up on race day.
That's crazy. Let's talk about the team side of things. So obviously this was your first experience with the team side of No Prep Kings and the team format and everything like that. You were drafted by Justin and you were on Justin's team the whole season. How was that experience all season long, especially with the fact that you two were kind of like rivals the season before?
It was good. We have a mutual respect for one another. His father and I, we've shared a lot of great times. Justin has really came full turn as far as his his program goes, and he's matured a lot through the years, and as I hope all of us do. But it was good because I got to see a side of them that I didn't usually get to see. We got to interact with Callie. Dwayne and I have been friends for a long time, but didn't having the team deal was really cool in that aspect. And then, Justin and I both, we struggled all year. And obviously I struggled, worse than some and less than others struggle. This whole deal's tough. I mean, everybody, you really have to have everything together. Like I had somebody ask me the other day, how many was I going to win this year? And I set out to win every one of them.
Right.
Somebody else has got this, other deal planned. And I was pretty sure somebody had a voodoo doll last year that was just poking pins in my eyes,
Yeah.
But, we'll see. I just, all we can do is show up and I show up to win, and we show up with every bit of the equipment that we feel like it's going to take to win. Some days we're the hammer and some days we're the nail. Last year we were the nail a lot.
Yeah, that's what happens.
But
yep. Towards the end, Jim, there was a lot of team trading going on because teams were trying to vie for that number one spot and get the championship. Was there ever a time that you thought you might get traded, especially towards the end?
I mean, again, it was kind of like keeping up with the points. Honestly, it really didn't matter to me. We were going rounds. We were just struggling with stuff, and we were putting in the work. But at any given time, if Justin would have said, "Hey, man, I'm going to trade you for somebody else," it wouldn't have been an issue for me. I learned a lot last year. I seen a side of certain people that I'd never seen before. And like in Justin's case, he was pretty loyal, man. He wasn't trying to trade up anybody. He did trade Tony. Yeah. He traded Tony for the Birds. And I mean, honestly, the Birds tested really well also. I'm not going to say I won't put their numbers out there, but I do know that they tested well, and I know what the car ran because I was there. And the car was super fast. They just had one of those deals too. Like they just couldn't get it together on race day. And so when that time comes, like when he traded, I mean, yeah, I hated to see Tony get traded, but like I told Tony, and I felt the same way in the end of the deal, it didn't affect us. You know what I'm saying? Now, had I been traded and put in the do not touch pile, I'd have probably been mad because I got too much money invested to go show up at the race and wait on somebody to call me up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah,
so
for sure.
But that goes back to that mutual respect thing. I don't think Justin would have ever done that. He didn't do it to Tony, and I don't think he would have ever done it to me. But that was a tough deal, and there were some racers not on our team who got traded, and then were put basically in timeout for 2 races.
Yeah.
Where nobody could touch him, and that would have been a tough one. That'd have been a tough one to swallow right there.
Right. Well, my question for you, Jim, was more along the lines of not Justin trading you, but another top team wanting you, because you had gone to the finals in Pennsylvania, and it was just the week after. That's when Damon and Nate and those guys got traded. So that's what was more my question, was not like Justin getting rid of you because you weren't doing well. It's actually you were actually doing really well at that time, and I was just curious if there was any people, Kai's team, Ryan's team, anybody like that looking to try to get you on their team.
I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? I kind of I stayed in my own lane. I had my nose to the grindstone, and like I went to the next race not knowing. If you notice, I didn't even go up to the team meetings. You know what I'm saying? When they were doing the trading and stuff, I stayed back and did my thing. Mainly because we were struggling so much, and I mean, you know, obviously, I'm happy the way that it turned out as far as the team goes. Every one of us, you know, could have done better, and every one of us should have done better, but it just didn't work out like that. So. And I think if I was another team captain sitting back looking at me, I probably would have been like, "No, man, that dude. He might be good, but he might not be good. You know, he might tear something up."
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, you know, everybody that's in this deal, not the Monday morning quarterbacks, not the couch potatoes, but the people that are out there seeing it and racing it and doing it, they all know what it's like. And sadly, I've went through one of these before, and it's just like once you get that monkey off your back, everything goes good. So I'm hoping that last year was my monkey, and I got it off my back, and we can go out this year and do really well. You know, I guess we'll just wait and see. I don't know.
Yeah, they announced, Street Outlaws announced that season 7, this upcoming season, was not going to have teams anymore. Are you looking forward to that? Just having you and John together again, and that's just that being that, and you can basically just focus on what you guys got going on?
Yeah, and I do. I look forward to it. I mean, to me, the team thing was fun because it opened some new doors up. We got to associate with people that we, you know, wouldn't normally hang out with in the pits and whatnot. But you know, for all intensive purposes, you know, I like to show up and race and run what you brung, and that's I like the non-team format. You know what I'm saying? I've got myself and my son and John, and you know, we've got some other stuff in the works. So I really need to do this. Chris Michaels says, I'm there's a lot of I'm just gonna next question, please.
I love Chris. Chris is always active in the chats when I do my live feeds. It's funny. So let's talk about what you got going on now, Jim. You got a lot going on. Let's get into some of those things. First off, I want to talk to you about your social media. I have noticed, obviously, it's changed. Your social media has changed, and in my opinion, you're doing really well with it. It's a good change. Talk about how you changed it and what your outlook for the future is with all your social media stuff.
So the best thing that I've done so far is I hired a marketing director for Howe Motorsports, and
nice.
Jeff is doing a phenomenal job. You know, we're going to have growing pains. We had some in the very beginning when we first started, but we're very much a team, and he's doing a phenomenal job. We have, you know, we've yet to come and get, you know, what we want, but we're gonna keep doing it. And so, you know, one of the best things that I did was let him handle it because it was taking a lot of time out of my day. It was, you know, it was robbing from my time with my family. It was robbing from my time with my businesses. And at the end of the day, this is a business too, and it's a big business. And so I needed somebody who could take some of that pressure off. And that's one thing I really sucked at over the years, is just delegating things.
Yeah,
I want to do everything myself because that seems to be the only way that I got where I was at, because I couldn't depend on other people. But you know, we're having to delegate now, and you know, he's doing a good job. We have kind of changed focus, and I sat down and like, this is something that I want to do, and Jeff has helped me bring that into reality. And so some of the bigger things that we're working on right now that I'm looking forward to talking to you about tonight. That's what I'm most interested in. You know what I'm saying? Is the stuff that we're doing is what we're in the middle of now. You know what I mean? The big picture stuff. And that's, you know, we started a foundation for my daughter. And that's been, you know, a big deal for me.
Yeah,
That's
talk more about that. What is that all about, Jim?
So, you know, honestly, I said this many years ago, and I've said it several times throughout my, I guess, my parenting role as a parent. I've said for years that, you know, the greatest legacy that I'll ever leave behind will be my kids, and I truly believe that. You know, sadly, one of my kids was taken from me, you know, a couple years ago. So when we lost Sienna, that was, you know, that was one of the most devastating things. I mean, the most devastating thing that I've ever went through, and still is today.
Yeah.
But I can tell you about her personally, and she was that person that wanted to help everybody, and she was that person that, like, she was a pleaser, so she wanted to please everybody, and she wanted to do big things, and she wanted to help in so many ways with everything that she could. And so I was like, you know, that we could do this foundation and then let the foundation carry on her legacy. Let the foundation help these people. And I never wanted to get it twisted, because we have so many people out there who feel that there's a lot of tongue waggers, and everybody knows, like, I'm pretty non-filtered. I'll say what I have on my mind. And there's a lot of people out there who have made light of the situation, who have, you know, private message. Even my social media guy, Jeff, he got in and started reading some of the private messages that I have received from people in the last couple of years. And he said, man, I've never seen such vile, inhumane comments that have ever been made to anybody in the world. He goes, I understand why you're, you know, so damn twisted up about it all. And I said, well, the thing is that, like, I don't really get twisted about it. I just realize those people are ignorant, and you know, they're unhappy in their own skin. But this is, my daughter wanted to do this. My daughter wanted to help people, so let's put something together where we can. And so then, you know, we've had some folks who have been like, oh, you're just doing that to fund your race operation. So we'll put this out there publicly right now that the race operation feeds the foundation. The foundation doesn't feed the race operation.
Right.
And it's very transparent. We have a legal team that is involved in the foundation right now, and I don't need it for the race operation. I'm not looking for people to feel sorry for me and put money in the foundation to help me race. That's not at all what this is. Which leads me to the next side of things, and everybody's going to get to see something that means a lot to me. And if you haven't been following my social media, if you haven't followed me at the racetrack, some things that I've failed at, and throughout the years, I have taken great time with my kids, not just my kids, but with my kids, the fans, those kids, they mean a lot to me, and they always have. Even back in the 90s when I was running IHRA, that was a time whenever I took time for the kids. I've always loved kids. I've always liked, you know, giving them a reason. They're the future. I mean, if we don't plant that seed for a child to become a race car driver, the sport dies. But it's also a big thing because I was once that kid that walked around and wanted to talk to everybody and do all that stuff. And so I've taken time to make them a priority of mine, and I've done it at every race that we've ever went to. And so a couple times, the one thing I don't do is I don't carry one of these and film everything that goes on in my life. And that has been a blessing as well as a curse. And so with that came, I didn't get a lot of the interactions with me and the kids, but we started paying more attention to it. And I was like, look, man, like this is the side that I want to do this. This is what I want to do. I want to talk to these kids. I want to mentor these kids. A few years ago, we had talked about starting a mentorship where, you know, we brought somebody up in the race world and taught them how to be at the shop, how to do all this stuff. And like, I actually wanted to have a school. That was one of my dreams. I wanted to have a school, like a tech school, where we taught kids a trade, and did this. Well, I don't really have the situation to be able to do that, but what I do have is the vehicle steer these kids in the right direction. And I love public speaking. So, now I'm doing the Howe Motorsports Horsepower for Kids program, and we're going around to these schools and talking about the STEM program, skilled trades, and that, for everybody to believe in their dream and to not give it up. And like you're living proof. You followed a dream of yours. You played ball.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
oh yeah.
But if you'd had people, so playing ball growing up, like here's the difference, like going and playing ball, like that's every kid's dream, well, not every kid's dream, but let's just say that's the American dream. Go play ball, go play pro football.
Yeah.
But we all know that the chances of you doing that are less than a needle in a haystack. You know what I'm saying? And so like you're in the upper 1% because you went as far as you did. You know what I'm saying? And so, but the difference is in motorsports, they can all do it. It's just like they can. And this is one of the things that I'm bringing across to these kids. I don't care what your specialty is. There is not a job in motorsports that a professional or a skilled trades person cannot fill. We need attorneys. We need social media people. We need fabricators. We need welders. We need drivers. All those things play right into the social media deal. And so, there's something out there for every one of those kids in the motorsports world. And I want to open that. I want to open that for them so that they can see it. And going around and talking to some of these kids and giving them the hope and the guidance that, like, hey man, follow your dream. If you want to be a race car artist, there's room for that. There's places for that. There are people that do that. I have teachers who reach out to me now, and I'm old. And these teachers were old whenever I was in school, but they're still alive. And some of them are on this show right now watching, a couple of them. And I had a few who told me I would never make a living with a race car. And I needed to quit drawing these race cars. I needed to quit reading these hot rod books. I needed to quit doing all that stuff. I needed to focus on getting a job. And so I bought into that. And I did. I bought into it, but I still never got rid of my passion. I always raced when I could. I did what I could. But now looking back, I'm like, man, if I'd have just towed the line and if I'd have had somebody who could have said, hey man, like, here's a path, you can do this. And, not everybody is going to be John Force. But I have friends that I have sent to top fuel teams to work that had never worked on a top fuel team at all. And today are working on some of these major top fuel teams and are part of their crew. Yeah. And so, I mean, like, it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's there for them, and I want them to know that. And I want them to be able to follow that dream and do it. And I'm, hell, I made a lot of mistakes to follow this dream, and I'm still making them. But we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And
right. I think it's awesome what you're doing, Jim. For anybody who's watching, if you have not seen the video of Jim publicly speaking in front of a bunch of kids at a school, check it out on his social medias, because I know how hard that is to do it, Jim. And your message, and you're a great public speaker. I don't know if anybody told you that or not, but that takes a special kind of confidence, takes a special kind of balls, if you want to say, to speak in front of a whole room, especially kids who you don't know and they don't know you. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot. So I commend you for that, man. You did an awesome job.
That's what I told him. I said, man, I'm going to share with you guys something. And I'm honest. And I tell the school that, like, hey, guys, I ain't going to lie to these kids. So if they ask me a question, if you don't want me to answer it, you need to step up and say, Jim, don't answer that question. And I said, so, like, just understand, I'm just not going to lie to them. But I told them all, I said, guys, coming in to prepare for this, I had this plan. And when I walked out there, you can read the room, you know what I'm saying? And I walked out there the first time to do it. I was like, man, this reminded me of Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And here I am. I'm getting punched in the mouth, so I got to change up. And it went really good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I really, really, really enjoy it, and we're booking other schools right now to go and do it.
Nice.
And you know, it's been an awesome deal, and it's going to be an even bigger journey, and I'm really looking forward to it. Because if I can reach one, you know, that's if I can just reach one, that's all I care about. But in this last school that we went to, the principal said that never in his years of administration that he had 100% positive response from the kids' home life, the parents calling in saying, "Hey, my kid came home fired up, like he wants to do this, or she wants to do that." And that meant a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Like we were able to reach some people that I was hoping to reach one. Instead, it sounds like I reached a lot, and that's great.
Yeah.
Because
hell yeah.
Whether they're going to be a race car driver or not, everything that I'm talking about applies to them in day-to-day life. And you know it. You've been an athlete. You know what it's like to make the sacrifices and pay your dues.
Yeah.
And there's no shortcuts to the top. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome, Jim. Like I said, I commend you, man. It's really cool what you're doing. I hope you get the support you need to make it really big. I know you know what I mean. I know you want to touch a lot of people with that, so I hope that happens for you. I saw a. Sorry, go ahead.
I said it is my dream to be able to do one of those every week while we're on tour.
That'd be awesome.
That's my plan.
I would love it for sure.
I'd like to go to a school on our travels between our travels at every place we go to. I'd like to be able to talk to one or more schools along the way. And, you know, Jeff is working on putting that stuff together. You know, we're going to keep pushing. We'll keep pushing the brand. It's not going to happen overnight, but, you know, we'll get there.
Yeah. And speaking of the brand, I saw a comment earlier a little bit ago, and I have a picture here, but there's someone that wanted to join the Howe Motorsports brand. As you can see in the background, the whole trailer is wrapped in it. The Viva 32 Tequila. Talk about that sponsorship, how that came about, and what your guys' plans are for the future. It's pretty cool, pretty exciting sponsorship, if you ask me.
It is. It's very cool, and it's a very awesome tequila, and I'm really saying that. So, like, I'll tell you guys the real on this one. I was kind of stuck because we had why can't I think of his name? Boy, I hate this. We had a celebrity at the Super Bowl who came over on a live video and wanted to tip up the bottle and try a shot of this tequila. We were live, and I was nervous because
Ray J.
Ray J.
Yeah, I saw that.
We were live, and I was nervous because I'd never drank it. Okay,
Oh.
we had only just got the bottles delivered to us that day. Well, I'm not Chris Michael's a day drinker. I'm not a day drinker, but you know, like it was middle of the day. And so the deal is that Ray J was like, "Come on, man, let's do a shot. Let's do a shot." And I'm thinking, man, if this stuff tastes like turpentine, this is going to be terrible because I'm going to spit it out, you know. And as it was, you know, he went first and he took a big drink out of the bottle and he was like, "Damn, that's good." And I'm thinking, man, this dude's a hell of an actor, or that's really good. One of the two, I don't really know. But it came time for me to get it. And then when I drank it, I was like, oh my God, like this is really next level stuff. And so, yes, I'm a bourbon drinker, but I am now a Viva tequila drinker for sure. I really like it. It is very good stuff. And very blessed to have them on board. And so how it came about, this was John Odom's doing. John Odom, 100%. John met this man, I believe, in a nightclub, and he met the owner in a nightclub, and that's how they worked it out. He is a major sponsor on John's car, and they are an associate sponsor on mine. We are partnered up with some new companies this year, also Dixon Flannel Company.
Yes, Dixon. Yep,
Dixon.
That was the next one I was going to ask you about.
And yes, that tequila is made in Mexico. It is authentic. It is unreal. John is John's there tomorrow. I think John's going there tomorrow. But anyway, that was 100% John's doing. They are a major sponsor for John. They're an associate sponsor for me. We have some really big stuff that's coming down the line also for our brand, for Howe Motorsports, and we're looking forward to doing that. I just can't announce it yet, but I'm hoping here by the first race we should have something that will make a lot of sense to a lot of people.
Nice. Well, as you mentioned it, and Dixon's a very big brand too. They are very.
I tell
cool
you,
to see you get that team up with them too.
I'll tell you that is, and I don't say, and again, I know this sounds silly, but like we were Dixon wearers before the partnership. Okay, so we wore Dixon before then. Super high quality stuff, super high quality brand. They make more than just flannels. Their clothing line, like I was wearing one of their bamboo shirts the other day, and I actually text the owner of the company. I shot him that picture I took of me and Amanda, and I told him, I said, hey, just letting you know, I bought this shirt today because I seen it and I liked it. And I was at a Harley dealership working on this Harley project that we're doing. And I said, and they had it in stock, so I bought it. And I said, and it is hands down my favorite shirt ever. I've never put a shirt on that is comfortable, that feels like that shirt does. And so
nice.
Now, I'm going to have to start buying more long sleeve shirts, and then we're going to have to start cutting the sleeves off of them.
I was going to say, you're going to cut the sleeves off.
Not sure how that's going to work yet, but Dixon is very much aware that their shirts are going to get the sleeves cut off of them. And that's just how it is.
Do they have a line? Do they have a line of sleeveless shirts at all? Because if they don't, they might have to. I'm not
saying they do, but I'm not saying they won't.
Nice. Hell yeah.
But, we're really blessed to have that bunch on board. They're a great company, and they're awesome. So we'll see how that goes, and get out there and buy some Dixon flannel because it is super good quality stuff.
For sure.
I will tell everybody,
good, Jim.
Their sizes run a little big. So like if you wear an XL, you should probably buy a large unless you like it really big on you. So their sizes do run a little on the large size, which is great. I think it's a good thing. So
yeah, me too.
Right.
Yeah, you definitely want it bigger than tighter,
I got enough mediums in my closet. I don't need any more of them.
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about something else you're doing, Jim. Obviously, you've had this going for a little while now, and it's your weekly podcast with live podcast with Scotty Cannon called Slammers. You go live on Facebook and YouTube. Question: how is that going? And how is the schedule? You had mentioned earlier. How is the schedule and the grind of it, doing it every single week so you keep it going?
Another one of those Mike Tyson quotes. We had a plan until we got punched in the mouth, and so now we're busy. Scotty's doing Bubba, his brother. They run Pro Mod. So like this week they were at World Series of Pro Mod. So we missed that opportunity. And then of course the same night that we go live, I had to be somewhere else for this other project that we're working on. So I couldn't go live that night. And like Scotty and I were talking, we sure suck at this whole hosting thing. Cause like we were going to do this. We picked Wednesday night because like Tuesday night here in Middle Tennessee is slot car night. We go slot car racing on Tuesday night. And
yep.
I wasn't going to mess up my slot car schedule. And then really as slot car season winds down, it's also a sports night for Blaze. So like tomorrow night we'll be at soccer with Blaze.
Oh.
So can't do it on Tuesday night. So I was like, well, Wednesday's perfect. Cause like Thursday I'm at the track getting set up and I don't want to be bothered, but Wednesday I'm going to be on the road. So I'm on the road on Wednesday. So we got I wasn't thinking about the time in which that all of a sudden we get this schedule that's like 2 months earlier than we thought we were going to be racing. And now it's all hands on deck to get everything ready. And for us, that was, like 3 cars that we have to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my car, my son's car, John's car, and really 4 cars because we got something else in the works too. And so like, got to get all this shit ready. And it's like, hey, we're going to do this in 60 days. And like, oh God, okay. So now we got to So that's been a little tough as far as getting the podcast, to stay on track. And I think what's going to be fair for our viewers is that we may just have to be a little hit and miss with it. And I've even thought about just like putting it on hiatus for a little while until we can get things kind of squared away, because we want to provide good content. And of course, we're bringing in other fast door slammer drivers. So when you add to the mix that not only do Scotty and I have a crazy schedule, but so do these other guys that we're bringing on the show. And then MPK guys, they're butts to the fire right now too. So really, in the grand scheme of things, I kind of want to put a hiatus on it, just to be honest, because it takes so much, because there's too many moving parts in it, like my schedule, Scotty's schedule, whoever we're going to have on schedule. That'll be it. But I will tell you that you can come and watch the Scotty Cannon and Jim Howe show live starting April 19th. All the way to the
nice.
Season.
Hell yeah.
So
that's awesome. Yeah, I wanted to get you, because I know how busy you guys are. You are for sure, other No Prep Kings drivers. Obviously how busy Scotty is, and I was just like, I wonder how the scheduling is good, because I know from just my little show doing it every week and trying to get, myself having time, then I don't even have another host with me. You know what I mean? So for you to have another host, so you guys got to line it up, and then you got to get, especially with this time around now, No Prep King season's coming up. It's going to be very difficult, and I definitely get what you're saying when it comes to that, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't read. Okay, so like you get your comments, and I don't see the comments that everybody leaves you. But like prime example, I went live last week to talk about the rules, and in the middle of that, we were talking about my daughter's foundation. We were talking about the Harley deal, and so let me talk about that real quick. You guys, you think I'm damn absent-minded. I promise I have a thought process that just bounces around a lot. So the Harley deal, I had a Ford F-250. Let me tell you a cool story. It's a cool story. I had a Ford F-250 jacked up, big old tires on it that I took on trade, diesel truck, 3/4 ton. And I was like, man, this thing will sell easy here. One of these kids will eat this thing up, and buy this thing. Well, I had it for sale, and I had a bunch of tire kickers who'd call, and, they'd want to know that, like, the history on the motor in the truck. I'm like, guys, I don't know any history on it. This is what I was told. All I know is here it is. It doesn't smoke. It doesn't leak. It runs good. It's got a tuner on it. It'll smoke the tires. It'll black smoke the road up when you hit the throttle. It's a cool truck. Don't want a lot of money for it. I needed 10 grand out of it, and pass it on down the line. I just, I buy, sell, swap, and trade. That's how I help pay for this stuff. And so then I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm just going to raffle it off. I was just going to do a raffle on my Facebook page and just raffle the truck off, because that's easier than dealing with a bunch of numbnuts on the television, on the damn phone all the time. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's what I'll do. And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, I'm going to give this truck to Sienna's Foundation, and then I'm going to raffle it off. And whatever it brings, I'm just going to give 100% of the money to the foundation.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, man, I need to be able to bring it to all the races. And I was like, well, man, I don't want to bring that big old truck to all the races. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, I'm going to trade it for a motorcycle. So I went online, I changed the ad up, trade for a bike. And I had 500,000. I can't tell you. My phone beeped like beep, 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 beep all day long, every day. And it was people trying to trade a bike for it. So I was like, well, this is cool. I will do this. So I traded it for a Harley. And then I got the Harley, and I was like, we're just going to give this away because I can bring it in the transporter. Can't haul that jacked up F-250 in the transporter, but I can haul a motorcycle. Yeah. So I was like, we'll just put this in the transporter and we'll do this thing for the whole year. Mm-hmm. Well, then I was like, well, man, if we're going to do that, we got to customize it. So within 4 hours of me trading for the bike, we had it down to the frame. And we're customizing the bike. And so now the bike is all the metal is off at Garrett's body shop, at Garrett's garage. Garrett is painting the bike the Guardian Howe Motorsports signature orange. and it will have Sienna Howe Children's Foundation and Howe Motorsports on the bike. Smoky Mountain Harley Davidson down in Chattanooga and Ringgold, Georgia. Actually, they're in Chattanooga. Smoky Mountain Harley Davidson has stepped up, and they're partnering up with us to supply us with some of the cool parts that we need for it. And what we're going to do is we're going to sell, there'll be a QR code, and that QR code will take you to our merch site where you will be able to buy a specific Sienna Howe Foundation t-shirt or merchandise that'll be tied to that QR code. And we don't know what that merch is. We're working on it. And it's going to be of an inflated price. So we're already going to hear, everybody's going to bitch about it. It's too high, whatever. But that QR code and that purchase you make enters you to win that Harley. And so at the end of the year, we're going to give that bike away. I'm going to bring it to all the races. That QR code will be there with the bike and with the people who have helped on the bike, their sponsor stuff on the bike. And then all the proceeds of that will go right to Sienna's Foundation. Awesome. What does Sienna's Foundation do? Well, here it is, guys. Starting at the March race, or not the March race, the Virginia race, we will have the Best Day Foundation kids on hand. These are special needs kids. Some are terminally ill. Some might be autistic, Down syndrome, whatever it is that they bring. Those kids are going to be honorary crew members for Howe Motorsports, and we're going to give them their best day ever. That's what the Best Day Foundation is all about. And we're going to work with these kids. We're going to make them part of the crew. I'm going to put wrenches in their hands, and we're going to teach these kids how to work on the race cars at the track with us, and we're going to let them have a big time. And I know that all of my other peers, my racing peers, my other competitors will embrace them as well. So we're looking forward to that. Sienna's Foundation is going to be used to help some of these kids in different areas who need, like when Sienna was going through her cancer treatments and all the stuff, the expenses don't just stop at your insurance. You have to take them to and from. You got to do all the stuff. So we're going to use the foundation to help certain families that we will vet throughout the year. And we'll also help to bring some of these kids to the track. But it's going to be used to help other kids who are special needs or are terminal in the best way that we can. Now, we can't help everybody, but we're going to help the ones that we can. And I have to get the foundation rolling in order to be able to provide that help. So the raffle for the bike is going to be a big shot in the arm for it. And that's what we're using it for. And so that's what her foundation is all about. And we're going to use it to bring some of these kids out to the races, help transportation, help whatever. I mean, like I said, it will outlive me. And that's what we want. I want her foundation to outlive me. I want it to outlive everybody. And that's what we're putting it out there to do. And so that's what it's all about. I got a question in here, wants to know what model Street Glide. It is a 2008 Dynaglide custom EFI bike. It now has a 105 cubic inch head and cam deal, Vance and Hines pipes tuned. It's a pretty rowdy little hot rod for sure. And it has zero problem smoking the tires or smoking the tire.
Yeah, the tire. Well, that's awesome, Jim. That's really cool. And you can definitely count me in. And I'll help you as much as I can spread the word and everything for some apparel so we can get some good money going to the foundation for sure. But that's really awesome, man. I really think that's cool what you're going to be doing, and I can't wait to see it.
So in life, and I think you can attest to this. I don't know anybody who can't. In life, if you ever notice when you go down a certain road, you'll get roadblocks. You'll have resistance. It's just like you go down a certain road and it's like, man, no matter what I do, I just can't make this work right. But then when you're on the right track, like everything blazes. You go right through, like everything's like bam, 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 bam. My deal with these kids and our current program with Howe Motorsports has been on that correct path. Everything has lined up everything is going like it is supposed to. The problem is that like we're just under the gun. So like I'm trying to get all this stuff done. And of course I'm freaked out because I want to have it done by race day. And I don't want to have it done the 23rd hour going into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to have it done, get pictures of the bike, get it all out there, do it right. And I, you know, it's just me. I can't stand not being prepared. I can't stand the last minute stuff. So I'm trying to get this thing to where it's up and going. And we got one more piece of the puzzle that we're working on. And I'm trying to find a wheel sponsor to pick up the tab on these billet wheels that I want to put on this thing. It's the final touch. And so that's where we're working right now, is trying to get that thing done. Everything else I think we've got taken care of. It's just going to be a matter of assembling it. And
cool.
That won't take long. Dan Nussbaum is incredibly talented, and he ceases to amaze me. No, you can't have a raise, Dan. But you know, the good thing is that I know that when it comes time to put it together, he'll jump right on it and bust it out, and it'll be time to go. And I can't say enough good about my help and the people that are, you know, behind me, and they definitely make my job a lot easier. So, you know, I'm looking forward to having it done. And of course, Dan and I will both get to ride it around the racetrack some. That was our deal. We get to show it off and
cool.
Get to ride it around.
Nice.
We have some very, very special fan interaction stuff that we're going to be doing this year. You ain't never seen what you're going to see starting.
I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see this.
We are definitely going to set a new standard. I will tell everybody this: we will not be bringing a lot of merch with us to the races. And I'll tell you everybody why. We are moving everything that we have into our website and doing a web push, and we have people set up to be able to mail the stuff out, and you'll get it in a timely manner. We are trying to bring less merch with us. The merch that I am going to bring with us as of today will be merch that we give away. And that is my plan overall. I feel like the fans come out, they spend a lot of money to get in the gate. They spend a lot of money to be there to see us do what we do. And I am trying to make it where we don't sell very much at all at the racetrack. And
nice.
And the reason for that is because, you know what? I'm not Ryan Martin. I'm not Kai Kelly. I don't have a line a mile long to buy my merch. Now, maybe one day I will. I don't know. But bringing the merch to and from the racetrack, having a different trailer to do that, having to staff somebody to do it, having to house them, a rental car, the whole 9 yards, it just really defeats the purpose of it all. Unless you're selling an enormous amount of merch. And I'm not in the merchandising business. I'm in the drag racing business. And so I want our people to be able to go online. I want them to be able to buy that. And I want them to do that. And if they don't, then I mean, that's fine. We're going to bring merch with us that we give away. And when I run out of it at every event, I'm just going to say, that's it. That's all we got this week. Come back next week.
Yep. Right. Yeah.
The way we're going to give it away is going to be something that will be pretty cool. And so
cool, man. I'm excited to see how that goes down. That'll be awesome. That's a unique thing, Jim. I think that's part of it. Like you said, if there's everybody always tries to come up with different ideas every year to switch it up or to get in your own lane and stuff like that. Especially at No Prep Kings, you want to try to stand there. You know, there's 40 some of you guys there. You want to try to stand out. You want to try to get fans to you. You know what I mean? And I think I'm always like interested in different ways people come up with to do their stuff, get their name out there. You know, people wearing free Howe t-shirts out there is only going to help the brand. It's not going to hurt the brand. You know what I mean? So I like the idea, you know?
Right. Here's the way I look at it. I lost money last year selling merch. Did we sell a lot?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we sold a lot of merch. But in the end, you know, we're spinning our wheels because we give stuff away anyway. If a kid comes by and wants a shirt, I'm not going to tell him no, I'm going to give him one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like,
Yep.
you know, it's just one of those things. I'm going to set the website up to do that. But if I look at what I lost, week to week as far as revenue in merch sales, like bottom line lost, I'm better off just to give that stuff away. And I've got my own t-shirt cannon, the whole 9 yards, baby. We're going to have some fun this year.
Nice. That's cool, man.
Yep.
Cool stuff. Well, hey, Jim, there's a couple, if you got some time, there's a couple of topics I want to touch on that has to do more with No Prep Kings. And seeing, I know I'm always going to get your honest opinion. I definitely wanted to ask you a couple things. One question I wanted to ask you has to do with a video I saw you make a couple of months back. It had to do with No Prep Kings tree has been being used, and basically you gave like a dumbed down version of how the delay box works, and basically the whole bottom line was that someone could really get a good idea and could pretty much guess the light if they wanted to. You had mentioned something about Street Outlaws maybe working on a new light or working to solve that problem. Have you heard anything about that? Do you feel like this could still be an issue for season 7 where there's a lot of people guessing on the light?
I feel like it's going to be an issue. They are definitely have their own tree and everything done, but I don't know that it's ready to be implemented, but I am told that we'll see it this year.
Okay.
And I hope that we'll see it this year. You know, I made the video, and sadly, a lot of people never watch it. They just talk. They'll go the reason I know they don't watch it is because I continue to see them repeat the same thing over and over again. And like we outline it in the video. I have had racers call me and be like, man, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that's how the timing system worked. And like, I showed it in such a way that it should be easy. And just so you guys know,
it was. I'll tell you, to cut you off, I didn't know anything about how it worked. And I watched your video and I understood exactly how it works now.
I shot that deal in one take. That's not edited. That's not like we shot that in one set down. Like I told Jimmy, I said, hey man, let's see how this looks. I set my trainer up, which we use the trainer a lot. Anyway, I set the trainer up and I said, let's just see how this works. Like I want to lay it out like we're going to shoot the video for real. Mm-hmm. Well, hell, I went right through it. Like, bam, everything hit like it was supposed to. And he was like, Dad, like, that's the video. Like, you're done. Like, you got it all. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess that's kind of it. We'll just send it. Like, and so, you know, we edited the video, but it wasn't like it had 13 takes or like I walked out there and I said, hey, son, grab the phone. I want you to do this deal. And here we go. And like, bam, it was done. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's sad because we have a lot of, I tried to attribute race fans to any other sport fan. Okay. Sadly, we have a sport full of people who are fans, but don't understand it. We have racers who don't understand it. And I just feel like it would make for a better, what you do with the stats. Okay. Phenomenal. Yeah. People don't get to see that stuff. That. Now they do. And like sports fans are stat people. Like they want to see stats. And
I know they do.
Right. And like
they really do.
Same deal. Like I just feel like we need to be able to educate the people the best way possible. And the ones who don't understand it, if they just go watch the video, they'll understand what it is that we're talking about. There is nothing that makes my blood pressure go up higher than when I get on the damn internet and I see somebody say, I'm tired of hearing these guys talk about you guessing the light. If you don't leave before the green comes on, you're not going to have a good reaction time. Well, in my years of drag racing, if you didn't leave before the green, you got beat. Well, dumbass, we don't have any other bulbs. It's just a green. You have to leave on the green. And if you do anything before that, you guessed. And, you know, it is in our rule set. I am very curious to see if it's in the rule set this year. I'm just going to put it out there. We'll put it out live. I wasn't going to say nothing, but we live on a Statman show, and I know people and powers that be. I know that you watch this show. So I'm going to tell you this up front. If it's not in the rules this year, then we know you want them to guess. If it is in the rules again this year, bet your ass I will protest anybody whose rear tire cracks before that light turns green. You want good drama, you want good content, I'm going to bring it if it's in the rules this year.
You heard it here first on the Stat Guy Show.
And it's just the way it is, man. You know, did I guess on Ryan one time 3 years ago? Yep, I sure did. Did Ryan pay me back in Maple Grove? Yep, he sure did. So I'm one for one. I've guessed on one and he's guessed on me now. So we're even. Anybody else? If that rule is in the rule this year and your tire cracks before the green light comes on and your car initiates forward motion, bet your ass I'm going to protest that run. And we will have a videographer with slow-mo video at every single race we compete at.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be in a location where there can be no denying what happened.
Well, I'll say, Jim, you can tell if someone's doing it, you know what I mean? If someone's doing it a lot, then you know, like after watching your video, if someone's doing it a lot, then you know that's what's going on, you know? If someone does it once every, you know, you said you guessed one time 2 seasons ago, you know what I mean? You're not a guessing guy. Like that's just, so I think the integrity of it is for sure. Like if you accidentally, I know some guys, I watched, who was it? Daddy Dave was explaining to how he holds the button and he barely has his finger on it. And he's like, sometimes I guess, but sometimes my finger just slips off it literally slips off of it. And I go, you know what I mean? And I get lucky. He's like, so it's just, I know there's a lot that goes into it, but the pattern, it's always about the pattern. The pattern will tell you exactly what's going on with that driver for sure. So
here's one thing for sure. If you get a red light at No Prep Kings, you guessed. That's all there is to it. You red light at No Prep Kings, you guessed. And
yeah,
now there's nothing else can be said about
pretty
it.
Much.
Light goes red, you guessed. Sorry. Well, maybe your thumb slipped off the button. Either way, you left for the green light. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's a red light. Yeah.
I mean, I'll own it. I don't have to say my finger slipped off the button. I'll just say, yeah, when I raced Ryan a couple years ago, I guessed. I said 1, 2, 3. I'm out of here, buddy. I hope it goes green. But I admitted it. We didn't try to make light out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. I own it. But
yeah.
The ones that are guessing that try to convince Joe Public that they're just that good on a pro tree, I'll put a challenge out there. I'll bring the trainer with us to the races. If you're one of those drivers who thinks that they're just that good off the tree, then sit down with me for $100 a bulb on the trainer, and we'll crack it for $100 a time until one of us runs out of money.
I like to see that. That'd be entertaining.
I like putting my money where my mouth is. I just don't ever get anybody who accepts.
Can see that. So recently there was 15 races released for the season, and I'll just say that there's been 15 released, with the first 10 taking place in 12 weeks. So that right there is unprecedented. That's the first time in Street Outlaws history, No Prep Kings history, there's been that many races in that short time period. How are you getting prepared for this? Because there's going to be, I mean, just the amount of travel, the broken parts, large amounts of spending money. It's almost like if there was a way to get rid of the field a little, shrink the field down a little bit, this might be one of the ways. Just put a bunch of races in a short amount of time. I mean, last year we saw 9 races in a row, I believe it was 7, ended up being 7 maybe. But this is 10 in 12 weeks. What are your thoughts about the beginning of the season of No Prep Kings?
Well, like I was saying in the beginning, you know, we were kind of gearing up thinking that we were being told like end of May, 1st of June was when we were going to start. And then we find out it's middle of April. And I wasn't ready.
There we go.
I wasn't ready. But, you know, my motor program is pretty stout. I think I've got 6 put together right now, and I'm working on number 7. And then,
nice. Wow.
You know, I mean, it's just one of those deals. I mean, I hope I've got enough. We have changed rear ends. I was breaking third members. Most everybody knows that. I was killing gears last year. but we got that thing to where it was 60 foot and 920 and 930, 60 foot. And we started tearing up rear ends. And so we went to the new Lazarus 11-inch deal from my guys at Quick Performance. They're over there fixing us up right now. And went to an 11-inch rear end that Marty Merlette built for the car. And that's supposed to take that out of the equation. I mean, we went through $40-something thousand worth of third members last year. And with this schedule like it is, like, they're just not out there. With the war in Ukraine messed up the tool steel deal. A lot of folks don't know that. The deal in Ukraine really messed up tooled steel and a lot of our titanium valve and some of the other stuff that's went on, but tool steel especially. And it messed up the helium. And people are like, what do you mean the helium? Messed up helium. And helium is used in the production of a lot of this stuff. So, it's been a trickle down effect into the motorsports industry that has been unprecedented. And, we just gotta hope for the best. And that's what I was saying before. We've kind of changed up to where we get rid of some of those possible problems. And I hope that this does it. Like, I hope that we're able to race and do what we're supposed to do, and not have all that stuff. I mean, you putting that kind of runs on a car, you're going to wear some parts out. So, I've got rods right now. I think I've got 6 or 8 sets of rods. We still don't have enough, but I have a standing order in on some parts. So like every so often I get a new batch that comes through, and that those standing orders help. You know what I'm saying? So like I think my next rod deal is due in like 6 or 8 weeks, and then I'll have another big shipment of rods in. So it's going to be tough. That race schedule, and I was just telling John that the other day, like we really, really, really need to get on the deal with his car, because he's got one of my old motors in the car. It's a Brad 6-headed deal that's like it's 10 years behind in technology. And like we gotta get him a better motor, and we got to get this stuff done. So that's one of the things John and I have been talking about here, lately quite a bit. Is like I got to get this stuff done for his car, and we'll just get out there and do it. And Greg McIntyre, prayers to Mike Murillo, absolutely, sir. Trying to keep up with the chat over there.
Sure.
You guys do me a favor. You know what, man? I just ask everybody to do it. Most everybody knows that I'm a spiritual person. I don't hide my religion. I'm not a Bible thumper. And I tell everybody that, I'm not a perfect Christian by any stretch of the imagination. I sin every day. Just don't judge me for sinning differently than you do. And all I'm going to say is that even if you're not a spiritual person, just do me a favor. If you're a fan of mine, even if you're not spiritual, just say a prayer for Mike Murillo and his family, if you would. And we'll go on and get that stuff done. If you don't believe, no big deal. Do it for me. I believe. So even if you don't believe, just say a prayer to God for the Murillo family. And it's cool if you don't believe. I mean, I get it. I get messages all the time about me and my imaginary friend. But if you ever want to know about him, I'll be glad to talk to you about him.
Yeah, well said, Jim, for sure.
Yeah.
You had mentioned, so it sounds like your idea of giving yourself the best advantage or best preparation is to get as many parts as you can to prepare yourself for that thing. Now, I want to get your opinion on the evolution of No Prep Kings, because back in the day, every year there's kind of some trends that start and people follow it. And a few seasons ago, there was trends of, hey, I'm bringing a spare motor with me to the races so that I can switch it there. And then it turned into, well, now I have a backup car if I need it. If I need to be out for a few races, not really set up how I need it to be set up, but I have a backup car. Then it was, well, I have a backup car. It's a backup car, but I have the same exact setup in it. It can run if I need to. Now it seems like people have 2 cars with 2 different setups, so they can pick and choose what they want to do. Talk about the evolution of No Prep Kings and how crazy it's getting. It seems like.
Man, my hat's off to those guys that can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
More power to them.
More power. Believe me, I'm not a pocket watcher, and I feel like the more they got, the better they got. And I just want to go out there and whoop up on them. If they got 2 cars, I want to beat them both. And
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think it's a great plan. And if I didn't have a 18-year-old son who is coming up and doing what he's doing, you know, we'd have one more. But we're going to build him one next. And we're working towards that goal right now of having another No Prep Kings car in our stable, and having one that's purposely built. I mean, I do have the Warden, and we can do that, but the Warden's not going to be competitive, and it'll get its ass drugged, you know, in today's time. I mean, can we go 390s? Yeah, we can go 390s with it. Can I go 360s with it? Nope.
Right.
Not going to happen. It
Right.
is light and day difference between my car and my old car. And, you know, I mean, if you got an extra $500,000 laying around and you want me to have an extra car, just come talk to me. I'd love to have an extra one. But I don't have the extra $500,000 laying around right now. So I got to do what I got to do. And you know, we'll hope that we can do, you know, the best of what we got. And we're going to keep reaching for the fences, and hopefully we don't have to have another car. But that's a smart move. I mean, honestly,
it is. It really is.
I mean, I can't blame them. I'm gonna tell everybody though. You know, you hear these Pro Charger guys talking about the rules. They didn't like the new rule set. So we'll talk about that for just a second. First of all, we don't have anything. We don't have anything official. In other words, last year we had a rule set, and then we showed up at the first race, and that rule set had gotten changed a little bit. And so until we get the actual pack from No Prep Kings that we have to sign, that we have took delivery of, and we know what that is, until I do that, I'm saying that we ain't got any rules yet. So until I see that, and that's no slam on the brand, man. Like, this is normal. They'll put the rules out, and then they got to tweak it here or there. So I'm just saying
for sure
that until we get the official rules and we're at the first race and we sign that piece of paper that says we know that these are the rules, then I'm just going to say that I don't know what the rules are. And I'm going to carry enough stuff in the trailer to do whatever we need to do. And that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to test at 98 over, which I have not done yet with the Guardian. We have run the Guardian at 92 over, and we have a little bit more, I think, on the table there. But as far as these guys who have multiple combinations, I don't blame them. I mean, I'd do the same thing. But I will say that we got a couple Pro Charger guys out there who are already crying. And, you know, I don't want to say crying because they're really not crying. They just don't like that they have to add 50 pounds to a Pro Charger that should have had 100 on it. But anyway, so, you know, Ryan is going to run the screw car because you can't blame him. He's saying he thinks the screws got the advantage. I'm telling everybody that Ryan will not run the screw car as much as he runs the Pro Charger car. I still feel like the Pro Charger is the advantage in the deal right now. I don't think it's much the way it is right now. I think 98 and the 50 pounds, I think that's going to get them pretty close. But I'm just going to tell you that the proof will be in the pudding. If Ryan runs that screw bone car all year long, then I guess I was wrong. But I'm going to say that Ryan's not going to run the screw bone car all year long. I think he's just doing that in case. And I think that I look for him to run the gray car more than he does the red car. I could be wrong, but this is not a conversation I'm having for the first time. I told him the same thing. And I think that he's going to run the gray car the most. And we'll see how that plays out. I mean, I want him to run whichever one's the fastest one. And I'm pretty sure that the gray one's going to be faster than the red one. So we'll see.
Do you think the track will matter? Do you think, like, there's a few guys now I know that will have 2 cars besides Ryan? I had Jimmy Taylor on the show last week, and he he is switching to a screw blower on one of his cars, and his other car is going to have twin turbos. And he basically said he's going to bring them both to the track, and he's going to, depending on the track, and just see how the track looks, see how the weather looks, everything like that, and make a decision there. So do you think that'll come into play at some of the tracks? I would guess.
I think that if the right guy gets a hold of a twin turbo combo, he'll be hard to handle.
Yeah. So why is that? Because of the stats and how this was the worst year ever for the twin turbos, and not seeing, not having the real rules or the final rules out. I didn't see anything about twin turbos getting anything extra. But Jimmy had said, and I think someone else had said something about the wastegate or twin turbos they've done something now that is actually going to help them and will actually be more helpful for them in no prep gangs.
Yeah, the E-gates are going to be a big deal. And so something to think about. Ryan Martin, 4 years ago, season 2 or season 3, ran the red car with a 481X in it and twin turbos.
Season 3, he won the championship. Yeah.
Several hundred pounds heavier than the current rule set. Nowhere near the technology in the turbo, nowhere near as big of a turbo as they're allowed to run now. And he did it with a 481X. And that car was running bottom 380s then. I'm just saying that with Ryan's program, if they came out with a purpose-built twin turbo deal at weight in that camp, then the only thing that would limit them would be whatever the top end of the racetrack would hold. And the 34.5 tire might just be the deciding factor, because I will tell you, the 34.5 is not as forgiving as the 36 is, and it definitely won't hold the top end of the racetrack like the 36 does. So maybe that's the downfall. I don't know. But I'm just saying that season 3, he was running bottom 380s with that car, and several hundred pounds heavier than where we are now, with a much smaller turbo and a 481X motor, nowhere near the technology and the torque converters and the other stuff that we have today. I can't help but believe that if Ryan built a purpose-built twin turbo car under the current rules, that I think everybody'd be racing for second place. That's really the way I feel. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would love, and that's no discredit, and I hope that my racing friends out there who run turbo cars don't think that that's a dig at your program, because it's not. It's just the fact remains that season 3, he was going bottom 380s with a 481X and much smaller turbos than what is allowed now, and several hundred pounds heavier than where we're at right now. So I don't blame Jimmy Taylor for coming out with that deal and trying to run the twins. I don't blame Scott Taylor. What is it about that? That's 2 Taylors.
I don't know. Are there any others?
Yes. There's some kind of conspiracy with the Taylors going on. They've got turbos. Forever be known as Turbo Taylors. So that's, all I know is that there is going to be a limit, but a lot of it depends on how they prep the tracks. And when I say that, yes, it's no prep. But when we started this deal, we went out and scraped the whole racetrack, which I really like. I vote for going back and scraping the whole racetrack and let it get better as the weekend goes on. Now they're going out and just leaving it alone, which is cool. But if they ran a PDRA race last weekend or a damn drag radio race, then, mine's going to be out there trying to turn the tires square. I'm going to shake my teeth out of my head because the track is so good. So, that's just one of those things we have to adapt and, show up and race on whatever they give us. But my personal opinion is I would rather it be on the better side than the worst side for safety.
Yeah.
I get that. But the other side of that is, from the racer standpoint, I wish it was scraped down to bare concrete when we started every weekend. And I'd be good with that. But, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be interesting for sure. Jim, if you want, we'll take a couple of questions from the chat. I know I've seen a couple during the time. but we've been talking. So if you got a chat, if you got a question for Jim, post it in the chat right now. I wanted to ask you, Jim, with the schedule here, there's some new tracks, a brand new track, one of them. Are there any tracks you look forward to this season that maybe you've never raced at before?
Well, I'm looking forward to one that I have raced at and I've won at, and that's Leicester, New York.
Oh,
actually,
you have? Okay.
My last time there, I won a national event there, so I was
nice.
That was a good weekend for me there, and Jeremy Adam Dykes. How many times have I been to jail? Several. Amanda Howe wants to know what time I'll be home for dinner. Depends on what. Send me a picture of what you're wearing.
You're cooking.
Send me a picture of what you're wearing to my private messenger, and then I'll let you know how soon. Let's see what's going on over here. Am I doing World Cup this year? Maybe.
What weekend is that, Jim?
Oh, it's probably slapped between two of our races.
Oh, it's really? It's not. It's that later, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it's in October, like when it's snowing over there.
Oh, yeah. What was I thinking of? Maybe I was thinking of something that you didn't. Maybe you did.
We go to.
Did you do the
from Texas 2K?
That's what I was thinking of. Isn't that coming soon or something?
Like, yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Are you guys doing that?
Not sure.
Oh, okay.
If I go, I won't be bringing the Guardian, but I may show up there and run a radio car.
Oh, nice. Okay. Why not?
I don't know. And then again, Jimmy might be driving the Guardian or the Warden on radios that weekend. So hard to say. The new tracks, I'm tickled to death about. I'm real happy about going to Extreme at Texas. I've never been there. Not happy about it being July 4th.
Not at all. Not at all.
I think it's going to be hot. I'm going to go ahead and lobby that we won't start until the sun goes down and we race all night long. I'd be happy with that.
Yes. Both Friday and Saturday.
Yes. I'm all about that. I'll sleep in and just don't even open the gates until an hour before dark. And then let's just do it like that. I vote for a Midnight Madness race in Texas. It would be fun. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't know about fans, but the fans might not enjoy that one. But
man, these guys come out and stood in October in the freezing ass rain in Martin, Michigan with me. They'll come at night. I promise. They will.
Speaking of that, it's probably going to be cold in Michigan this year too when you guys are going.
Shouldn't be bad. That's going to be a good. I like that. We got moved up a little bit. I'm happy about the Michigan date. So
it could be cold though. Like let's not get it. It could be. It's not like it's out of the possibilities because it's been cold here in Wisconsin in September. So
yeah,
I'm sure Michigan. Sure. But that was the rain made it really bad last time.
Yeah. I'm looking for.
But you're right. It is sooner. So that is a plus.
Yeah. I'd like it to be in like July or June. It's nice up there. August would be. August would be perfect. But I hate cold weather, and like you'll rarely ever see me complain about it being too hot. Now it sucks getting in and out of the car in the fire suit and stuff, but like I'm good with sweating. I'm perfectly good with that. But since I've lost all the weight that I've lost, when it gets cold, woo, I freeze to death. Like I don't even like cold weather.
You know what they say about getting older, Jim?
I know, right?
You get colder.
Well, I've lost 77 pounds. So,
wow, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, when I won in Texas in season 5, I was 324 pounds.
Holy shit.
I weighed 240.
That was your heaviest?
I weigh 244 right now. No, I got as right after Amanda had the baby, right after she had Blaze, I got up to 340 pounds.
Wow.
So I've lost 100 since then. But I'm actually really at the same weight that I fought and wrestled at in college. So I'm 244 right now.
Nice.
Yep.
That's
And
good, man. Congratulations on that.
yeah, I feel good. I'm really lean. I'm much more agile, and we've been
Yeah.
Amanda and I've been hitting the gym really, really hard. I just came from there before I came here. So
Does MPK weigh you in the car together?
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
No, it helped. Like, it was cheaper to get weight off me and better for my health. And I was just trying.
Yeah.
So like I was trying to lose. It's not like I lost 80 pounds of fat. I had a lot of mass. I mean, at one time when I was 40, when I was 40, when I bench pressed 700 raw at 40 years old, and at 40 years old, when I benched 700, I weighed 280 pounds. Okay, and
Holy shit.
I was less than 11% body fat then. So I'd gotten lean out.
Thick.
Yeah, I was very thick, and had to have my wife scratch my butt if it itched. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't reach my ass.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So like now,
wow.
And I wanted to lose some mass in general, so I had to lose muscle mass and lose the body fat.
Yep.
So that's Greg Haggerty remembers me going in. I used to load, so I sold fuel forever, and I'd pick a 55-gallon barrel up and load it in the back of your truck by myself. Did it for years. And that's why I'm hurt and broke down now. You know what I'm saying? And that's like I tell people that all the time. Like, man, don't do that shit. I tell my son Jimmy, like, you don't need to do that. Like, my dad used to tell me, and I'd be like, oh, I'm good, Dad. But now, that's why I limp around and shit, because I'm all beat up and broken down from all that dumb shit that I did back in the day. But,
right. Yep. For sure.
Hell, it didn't bother me. I grab a 55-gallon barrel and grab it from grab one hand on each end, pick it up and throw it in the back of your truck with it full of fuel. It didn't bother me none. I didn't think it was heavy.
Man. Little did you know. Little did you know that it was going to come back.
Oh yeah,
and probably be a small reason because you have certain pains.
That's why my shoulders and my elbows and my knees and everything hurt. But, it's getting better though since I've leaned up. I mean, it's definitely better.
That's good, Jim. You can definitely tell, man. You look good.
Captain Bubba wants to know, will NPK ever run like outlaw style NPK? Ryan and I would both like for that to happen, just like once. Take the gloves off, but don't do it. And say next week we're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, give us a time. Like, give us a race one time a year where it's going to be gloves off. Just come out and run what you run.
Run what you run, huh?
As long as it's steel roof and quarters and fits the body dimensions. But I'd love it if we had one race where we could run. I'd come in at 128 overdrive and on a 36 tire and, just let everything hang out. Like, it'd be great. It'd be an awesome race to be able to do. And, you'd have to make it where it would be a non-points race though, in order for it to be fair for everybody. But like one of those deals where it was just gloves off, but give us enough time, because like the stuff you have to do in order to do a motor like that is much different. Like I have to change pistons. There's a lot that we have to do in order to make a race like that happen. It's a different torque converter setup. It's different gearing. But it would be cool if we had something that was, say, a year out or 8 months out, whatever, where we knew like, hey, we're going to do this race at the end of season 8. And it's going to be gloves off. And then we build it up. Like, we could be talking about it all year this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
really?
we're going to,
I know. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to do this deal, and it's going to be a gloves off race, and, let it hang out and run it quarter mile. Then I'd really be happy.
Yeah. It'd have to be at the end of the season, because you wouldn't want to have a No Prep Kings race soon after that, because you got to switch everything back over then.
That's what we do going to World Cup. I left Texas, swapped the stuff over to the quarter-mile setups, went to World Cup, swapped it back over to come back to Arizona and run 8th mile. Like, I'd rather get punched in the mouth than I had to do that again. So,
is that why you didn't run? Is that why you didn't run 98 over at Arizona? You just didn't have time, or did you run 98 over at Arizona?
No, I ran 92 over. I have never tested my combo at 98 over. I ran John's at 98 over because it's my old, like it's the old Brad 6 motor. So like I knew where to put it. Yeah. I knew what converter to put in it. You know, we knew everything about it. That was an easy switch. My car, much different deal. And I'd already tore up enough shit. I didn't need to add more. I didn't need to add more of my issues. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so like some of the fans are saying we should run it like that all year long. Well, the problem with that is that it's just not economical. It would end it as soon as it started. It would need to be like one race a year. But hang on, my wife sent me a photo. I may have to go.
You told her.
Yep, time to leave. Dinner's done, guys. I gotta go.
Well, hey, Jim, you can definitely leave. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, dude. It's always a pleasure talking with you. Like I said when we started, I said you're a friend of mine. I cherish our friendship. You become such a nice guy to me when I come to the races and support what I do. So I'm always going to support you. And like I said, it's going to be a long season, and I'm excited for it. I wish you the best of luck, sir. I will be in Pennsylvania at the first race, and I'll come say hi.
Well, I hope that we can continue our Pennsylvania streak and put that thing on the dance floor. Once again, I like Maple Grove. Hopefully it won't be snowing. But if it is, then I say, now listen, if we get over into some bad weather, I say we go right across the street to the Amish guys. Let's get a couple of them horse and buggies. And let's race them damn Amish buggies down the racetrack, and we'll call it Amish NPK Season 7.
Yes. That'd be awesome. That'd be a great episode.
Let's race something. But
hell yeah.
I like them horse and buggies, and I like the Amish folks. You see every race, every time we go up there, they sit up on top of that hill, and they'll watch from across the way over there in that field. There's several buggies that sit up there and watch. And so, you know, like for me, I get them guys to come down there. I want everybody to drag race. We'll race them horses and buggies. They can't tell me. I don't care if they're Amish or not. They race them jokers out in the field. I guarantee they do.
Yeah, they have to, for sure.
I promise you they do. It's almost it's a birthright, man. Like you're gonna race if you're sitting there. It won't matter. Jedediah and Ezekiel are sitting over there wondering which one of them buggies is faster. I guarantee you. So let's go try that.
Yeah, that's funny.
Right,
that'd be cool. All right, Jim. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
I appreciate it. She's way better looking than you. I got to leave.
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
I'll see you, buddy.
See you.
Bye. Thanks, guys. See you.